A burst pipe. A dead water heater. The AC calling it quits. Who do you call? HomeServe is an easy way to handle unexpected home repairs with plans covering stuff basic homeowners insurance usually won't. Instead of scrambling for a contractor, you make one call to get the repair process started. Join the millions of customers who trust HomeServe right now. Go to homeserve.com/podcast for 50% less your first year. That's homeserve.com/podcast. Savings compared to renewal price void in Florida.
This is Stephanie Diaz de Leon.
This is Omar Waheed.
This is Beth Stacy.
This is Miles Felix.
This is Abby Maxey.
This is Camille Jackson.
And this is Rob Chappell.
And it's 365 Amplified in a full room again.
The way we are crowded around
Not
the
their
table.
business. They don't need to know. Just know that we made this work.
We're making it work, guys.
If you've seen behind the scenes of La La Land where they're doing the piano and Emma Stone dancing, where they're just swiveling back and forth real fast, we're doing that with microphones.
Actually, great reference. That's a beautiful cam. We're working there like panning, like, like.
And we're doing that here today. True magic.
It is true magic. I don't know what you mean.
Thank you.
All right, we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on.
A lot going on.
So we're going to go right into it, Rob. Go ahead.
Yep. The Madison Public Market is open.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And I stopped in Wednesday, and I spoke with Keisha Harrison, and we're going to have that interview for you in a little bit. Very exciting. I'll just tease a little bit. It smelled really good in there, you guys.
Oh, did you eat?
No,
Did you eat there?
No, I didn't. I had to get over to the Fort Madison game.
Your family. You just were like, oh, I got to go. You all eat macaroni and cheese. I'm going to go eat some food at Public Market and such. So
No, I did not.
good for you.
I talked to some people, I talked to some business owners, and I talked to Keisha, and I had to skedaddle down to Bree Stevens Field.
Yeah, because, again, sports ball.
Yep.
What's going on with that?
A few things that we've talked about in the past that we need to catch up on. It has been now 9 days since Madison Police shot and killed Corey Ruiz on the east side of Madison. The corner is still occupied, and there was a bit of an incident on Wednesday, right? So somebody came in and started assaulting people and using racial slurs, and was arrested. I have a question for the police. It is reported on Channel 3 that the police were watching it unfold using their drones.
Yeah.
And then they were called to come and they arrested the guy. Were they gonna come?
Yeah, if nobody had called.
Were they just watching it happen, or were they gonna respond?
Yeah.
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say they were on their way when they were called. Maybe.
I understand maybe why using drones to just kind of watch over, and they don't want to disrupt the
Right.
peaceful gathering and remembrance for folks and such like that.
But who are they policing?
Well, and I do want to also acknowledge that the folks who were down there did, from what I've read, a good job of trying to sort of calm this person down and de-escalate the situation as best they can. But that person came there with the intention to make a mess of things and to do some violence at that point.
Yeah.
But I do wonder again, was the drone there to police who at that time?
Right.
And also, why isn't there how long did it take them to get there, and were they really going to be there unless someone called 911, or were they going to let that sort of figure itself out?
So that's a question I have for the police. I also have some other questions for the police that I have put to the police in the past 24 hours. They have not responded to my questions, which is the biggest question for me is obviously an independent monitor. Aramaic Glass, the independent monitor, went on Wednesday, on the 6 hours or so after Corey Ruiz was shot, and asked the police to provide all the evidence that they had already provided to DCI. DCI is the state agency
that is investigating.
Yep. And if you scroll back on our Facebook or look on our YouTube, I did a whole half-hour-long explainer on all of this.
Which people appreciated, by the way, which I don't like giving you compliments, but lots of folks that I saw actually appreciate. His head is already big. I don't need to make it bigger. But people appreciate it, and I think some of us have been pushing to do more and more of that, by the way. But
to get into the weeds of this, not so much the incident itself, but the systemic the structures, the institutions that are now in play that are really
that we should be maybe including in the way that we outreach to wanting to see some justice for this incident, right?
Exactly.
This murder.
But in any case, the DCI is doing the investigation. The police gave them all the evidence, and then now they're saying that because DCI has the evidence, they can't give it to the independent monitor, and they say because it's state law.
What state law?
I know which state law. They don't.
Like which state
law? Or they
law
won't say.
Yeah, which state law are they talking about?
They're talking about 175.47. Which
on the quiz at the end, y'all.
Yeah, which we, without going into the weeds, it doesn't say that they can't share the information.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't say either way. It's an interpretation of the law. So their lawyer may say like it's best that you don't do this, but nowhere in the language does it specifically say that you can't do this.
Right. So the independent monitor issued a subpoena for all that evidence, and then DCI is responding to the subpoena, which is absurd. The police should be responding to the subpoena.
That's interesting. So DCI
she subpoenaed the police, and the police are acting like they have no authority over the evidence that they have.
That they gathered.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's happening there. Again, there's a whole half hour of me yapping about this if you want to get into it. It's also talking about the. There's been a lot of talk now for months, but it's ramped up about the Office of the Independent Monitor, its funding, its relationship to the city.
Its need to be independent.
Yep. And folks have talked about going to the city council meeting on August 4th to talk about the amendments to the OIM ordinance. All of those amendments that we're going to try to change the way the office worked and potentially undermine its independence a little bit have been dropped. Like the city council leadership have read the room, so we're not going to talk about this right now anymore. But
so it should be named though. It may come up again, y'all. Like just because they removed it from their agenda, does not mean it won't or it might not come up again.
Right, and that's why in my explainer the other day I did go into the amendments because they're going to come back.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I'm not going to have to be there until 3 a.m. next week.
That was going to be a long city council meeting. Yeah. There is the finance committee on Monday did, and I apologize, I'm not up on exactly what they voted on, but something to do with the funding of OIM. And that might be on the agenda on August 4th. We don't know because the agenda is not published yet as we speak.
It's Rob jumping in from the future with a small update. After we recorded the podcast, the city did post the agenda of the August 4th meeting. The proposed amendments in their most recent form are on the agenda. However, President Sabrina Madison also is on the agenda with a special presentation about the Office of the Independent Monitor and stuff. So before they even get to the consent agenda, she's going to have that presentation. I don't know what she's going to say. I might try to call her and ask her today. But then later on the agenda, then the actual amendments are on the agenda. So I wouldn't be surprised if they say we had to keep these on the agenda because they were on the agenda. We didn't want to take them off, but we're all going to vote no. So don't worry. So what that means is there is actually an agenda item that people could make public comment on if they want to. So then the question becomes, are they actually going to be able to on the Zoom? So, okay, now back to the show.
But also, they moved that meeting to Zoom.
Yeah, because of
security concerns.
Yeah, security concerns. Which, at a meeting earlier this week, right? They had an opportunity for folks to share comments. They were supposed to
at the finance committee.
Yeah, which was also a virtual meeting, but then never sent anybody a link to show up to provide comments. Right. So
24 people registered to give public comment and weren't able to. They blame what they're saying is that the email address that they used to send the link to registrants was flagged as spam, and therefore people didn't get the link.
But we had interns to check spam folders, no? We got, so My concern, again, is like, how are they going to manage an opportunity for community to speak at this one, even if it is just an open forum for community. Let's say they have nothing else on the agenda except for something from the finance committee, and then the rest is just open comments, right?
They can't do that.
Well, fine, Rob.
You have to give public comment on a specific agenda item.
Fine. Well, that's. Then put it down.
You're supposed to, at least.
Well, the mayor will interrupt you if you get off topic.
Have you experienced that, Rob? Are you like, is that what you're
I've
saying?
seen it happen.
Yeah, you've seen it happen. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't know how they're going to manage this in a way that allows for public comment if there is something on that agenda that people want to participate in.
Right, and that's why I think they're still working on the agenda. To maybe wondering, should you postpone anything to do with OIM to the September meeting?
Yeah.
I don't know. We will see. So that's that. We will continue to follow that. I have another update from Lacrosse. We talked last week about the
Focus group?
The focus group, yes. Tariana Thompson, 27-year-old black woman from Lacrosse, was killed by a white driver in a pickup truck who ran a stop sign. The district, this is back in May. The district attorney didn't want to prosecute the old white guy, and therefore, but knew he probably should. So he convened a homicide inquest, which is very rare in Wisconsin, but is, as Omar very aptly put it, a focus group. The focus group met on Monday and recommended charges.
And now the DA is going forward with charges, or he's still thinking about it?
He's still thinking about it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's
That's what I thought.
he will.
It was never
He will consider
never a
their.
meaningful process. It was it feels like a farce, right?
Well, it feels like it feels to me, and I can't
He's still
speak
like-
for him. He didn't really want to press charges and wanted cover,
Yeah, it's a farce. He used it to like,
but they didn't go the way he wanted.
Yeah.
So now he's got to either go against their recommendation, or
which he put together.
or actually prosecute. So,
So he's going to move the line and say he's going to do another focus group, or he's going to talk to other leaders to see what their thoughts are. And I mean, he's looking for a reason
Yeah,
to
but
not move forward with
that's
the
what it feels
charges.
like to me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. One hopes that in the next few days he'll make a decision and let us know. But I don't know. Speaking of delays of things, Charles Myadze was supposed to go on trial next week, August 3rd and 4th. But for the third time, he fired his lawyer. So he got another extension. For those who maybe don't remember, this is a former City of Madison alderman who it's been over 2 years now since I reported that he had a long history of domestic violence. And it's been over about a year and a half since former mayoral candidate Corey Ruiz came forward to us to report that she had been abused by him while he was on city council, and then based on her allegations, he was arrested and charged. And in December 2024, he was arrested and charged, he's been kicking the trial down the road since then. On Monday, the 27th, there was a status conference where the judge granted his attorney's motion to withdraw, and I asked her why he withdrawing, and she said because he fired me. She said it more nicely than that, but so now there's another status conference September 8th, and the new trial date has not been set. So it's just continued delays in that proceeding. And finally, before we get to the rest of the voices in the room, there's a primary for governor coming up. I'm not sure if you guys were aware of that.
It's Rob jumping in from the future with an update after we recorded this podcast. Mandela Barnes dropped out of the race for governor, as you might be aware. It's unclear at this moment how that's going to shake up these poll numbers that we're about to talk about. But just to be aware of that, and we will have more on that very soon.
And there's a new poll, Marquette University Law School poll, which is sort of gold standard for polling in Wisconsin. And Francesca Hong looks like she's going to win this thing, which is not something I would have thought 6 months ago.
Or even with the way the Dems were acting 2 weeks ago.
Right.
The time as it is.
Yeah, she's currently 38. She currently has 38%, and Mandela Barnes is at 16%. David Crowley, who dropped out and came back in, is at 7%, and then Joel Brennan and Kelda Roy's both at 2%. It was a relatively small sample. The error margin of error is 6.6%, which is on the high side, but still Hung is outside the margin of error. Her support is strongest among younger voters and those who describe themselves as very liberal. Not surprising. Barnes and Crowley do better with older and moderate voters. 62% said they had heard that Governor Tony Evers endorsed David Crowley. When David Crowley jumped back in, he was like the establishment's. That was basically for folks to remember, the Crowley coming back into the race was the Democratic establishment's response to Lieutenant Governor Cyril Rodriguez dropping out. They were trying to line it behind David Crowley to get him to get Mandela Barnes out of the race, basically. 62% say they heard that Tony Evers endorsed David Crowley. Only 36% say it makes them more likely to support Crowley. So that endorsement did not have a big effect. All of this, there's a lot of chatter about electability, which isn't explicitly about race, but is kind of about race.
I mean, I hear a whistle. Somewhere in the background, I hear a little bit of a whistle.
Yeah. But also there's specific things people can latch onto about things Francesca Hong has said in the past about, defund the police, whatever, and about this, that she's a Democratic Socialist candidate, DSA. My advice, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this, is just if you're a Democrat voting in this primary, you're not a pundit, right? You're not an operative. You don't need to steer the party to a win. Just vote for who you want to be governor. Because the Republicans are already focused on Francesca Hong. They've decided she's the nominee. She might be the nominee they want because there are easy things to attack, but they're gonna say mean things about whoever the Democrats put up. Like, you can't worry about that. Vote for who you want to be governor. Stop trying to steer the thing. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I do wonder if David Crowley's burner account had anything to do with this polling. But vote your heart, but vote well.
Yeah. Anybody?
Yeah. I would say, don't die on a hill and we end up with the alternative that you don't want, right? I feel like you have to. I feel like there's not going to be, at least in this race, you may not have like your quote unquote like perfect candidate you may want, but I feel like you gotta, like you were saying, Rob. I feel like you gotta make your choices there. So yeah, it's a difficult situation, but yeah.
A lot of people are like, but you're never gonna, like, somebody that progressive, that liberal, that socialist isn't gonna win out states or in Wausau or whatever. Go ahead.
Well, I just don't understand, like, if you want to vote for her, and that will help her get elected. Like,
Right.
like, why choose somebody that you think is, like, more quote-unquote electable, but they're not more electable because you're not electing them. Like, it's like,
Right.
like, you just, like, vote for, like, who you should
Exactly.
win.
Yeah. And that's her line,
Who
is
you think could win.
whoever gets the most votes is the most electable.
Yeah.
But then people wring their hands and are concerned about the general election. And my thought is the general election is a lot about people who haven't been paying attention until now, or won't pay attention until October. And they won't necessarily, because when you hear Francesca talk, she sounds like a pretty reasonable person, right? She's very good at that.
In any election that we move into, whoever moves past that is going to be the Republicans are going to say they're unreasonable. Like, it doesn't matter. Right now it's Francesca Hong because that's who they're focused on. It's going to be somebody else the next time. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Understand that if you were coming in here with like, well, if my candidate that I want doesn't win, I'm not coming out in November. that's a privilege. Understand that's a privilege that you have to recognize, being able to choose that, like, hey, whatever happens, it's not going to impact me because I happen to live in a place of privilege, in a place where, yeah, like, things might get a little bit more expensive, but I got it. Like, that's a privilege. You harm the folks that it really, really, who are marginalized and on the outskirts, who are really going to get hurt by any of these policies that Tom Tiffany might put in place, right? Like, that's a privilege. Understand your role in this society, in the civic place that we all, in this community that we have, right? And voting is part of that work and part of the responsibility, et cetera, et cetera. And you can also say the WISDEMs, the National Democrat, and DNC and all of them are messy. And my vote also lets them know and recognize, like, hey, you all messy. We're not going with the one that you are telling us that we need to go to. I'm going to vote for the one that I want to see win, period. Yeah. And that's enough.
Yeah, and I just don't think, as progressive as however much you want to put the socialist label on Francesca Hong.
I don't like the progressive label either. Progressive language.
Yeah.
Understand historically what progressives have been for some of us, who are especially black and brown women. Right? Like, so, like, when I hear that language, there's a bunch of people like, well, don't you want the person who's most progressive? I'm like, be careful with that language, because that language has been used against some of us to restrict our ability to do lots of things before. So, like, even that language is interesting to me, that we continue to use that, like, as a win versus progressive versus socialist. Be careful, like, trying to use that word on me, because they don't work on me like that.
But I think a lot of the sort of the lower information, or like not so much paying attention voters, don't have a lot of baggage with that. Like, they're not going to look at Francesca Hong and be like, "Oh my God, a socialist," because they haven't heard of her, so they're just going to listen to what she has to say.
Sure, and also someone always, what somebody has to say that's a socialist program. You just remind them: schools, libraries, the roads, your municipal buildings, and your village boards, your trust, all those things. Also, all some sort of socialist Democrat thing. That's all you have to tell people, remind them of, like Social Security, Medicare, Badger all of it.
I saw a post that pointing out that she doesn't say the Pledge of Allegiance at the beginning of things, but you know what the Pledge of Allegiance is?
The Pledge of Allegiance, don't get me started on that. I didn't either.
It is a socialist loyalty oath.
Yes.
It was written by socialists for socialism. So, Francesca Hong, disavow socialism. Go ahead, Camille.
What I was going to say is that I think all this fear and all this stuff about who's going to win or who's not going to win, and like picking that, I think that would be so much less of a problem if we had the ranked choice voting. And
good call.
Yeah.
To be, you could pick who you wanted to pick instead of doing this like weird strategy thing.
That's a very good point, and I think that has been borne out in places that have tried it. Right? Yeah, good call, Camille.
And also think about, like, the reasons people are, like, wanting one person to win versus another person versus another person. Some of that is also about themselves wanting to hold onto some level of power, because there's also recognition, I think, that if it's not the party choice candidate that moves forward after this primary, and the other candidates, one of the other candidates win, that some of these people are going to lose power. Because Mandela, Francesca, they're going to bring in their own people to start running the state. They're going to bring their own folks into the space in a way that, current folks don't like and don't want. Because then they lose access and power. Like, in the end, sometimes what we're hearing is just a lot of messy people who are afraid of what they're going to lose in terms of power and positionality, always.
Yeah, just also elephant in the room here when we're talking about electability. It's just the question that people are thinking about in the back of their minds is Wisconsin ready to elect an Asian American woman as a governor, right? So
or a black man,
or a black man, for sure, right? So all these ideas about one, she's said she's not going to change it. Like nothing now between now, election day, or days before. She's not going to change her stance as a socialist. You know what I mean? We know that's true, right? So when we're talking about this issue, quote unquote, of electability, that's the elephant in the room that people are not mentioning. It's they might throw around socialism, this, that. That's in my opinion. I think that is a lot of what it comes from. This. What we were talking about actually before this, I think you might have mentioned it a few minutes ago, Rob. Madison could definitely vote for Francesca, but like, are we talking about these more like rural areas of Wisconsin? Like, where are they going to go? And that's what we're talking about with electability, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like if like just elect them, like it's like if you just choose what you want to choose, like it doesn't matter. Like if Wisconsin is ready, it's ready if we vote that way and we vote the way we want to vote. And like also like I get like rural Wisconsin is a scary place to think about sometimes, but like I think about like my parents who have made like a complete 180 switch from their political party. Like they used to like vote Republican, and now they are voting for Francesca Hong, and they're like completely in like the last like 10 years. And I think there's a lot of like, oh, like the older generation, it's like, no, like if you have these conversations with your family and you're willing to like pressure them a little bit in a healthy way, like, sorry, this is just me like advocating for young people to talk to their family, and it's like our duty to make your family uncomfortable, have these discussions with them, ask them who they're going to vote for. If they're going to vote for Francesca Hong or somebody else, ask them why, tell them, you know, like just like be willing to influence the people around you too. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
No. I always make people uncomfortable, including family. No, but that's a great point. Yes. It's part of my charm. But, you know, absolutely. I think the other thing to understand too is like, I think the reason why Francesca Mandela is still up there, I think even the reason why Kelda is still up there, is because they all know how to run, right? Like, and whoever wins, whoever comes out of this, whoever we want to vote for, and when it comes out of it, they're going to run, and they're going to run in those rural areas. They know what to do. They know how to do this, right? Like, trust that, like, if the right person, the reason why they've leveled up to the top is because they've been running everywhere. So trust that's going to continue to happen.
That's the most remarkable thing about the Hong campaign is that for 5 years, since she's been in the legislature, she's been doing doors for candidates in Wausau and in Eau Claire and in La Crosse, and that's how she's sort of laid the sort of grassroots groundwork. I had to laugh they had the debate on WISN the other night. During the debate, I got 4 press release emails from David Crowley, which is. 4. So like every time he said something on a topic they want to talk about, they would drop a press release. Yeah, in an hour, that's how we used to do it in 2008.
Well, and that's the other thing that's driving me all crazy. You are all, look, I used to do long ago, like 20 years ago. How dare you all remind me of how old I am? I used to work in campaigns in Cali.
Yeah.
And so it feels very similar to 20 years ago.
Yes.
And Rob and I have talked about this. I'm like, this feels way too, this feels very similar to what I saw 20 years ago. And it feels the same way. 4, I'm like, that is such an old tactic.
It's a very old tactic. And in a way, Francesca Hong is doing even older tactics, which are coming back around, which is retail politics, which is face-to-face talking to people, which takes a long time and is a big effort. But she's done it. I think that's why she's where she is. And you know, if you can't trust that she'll be able to translate that to a general election, you know, it's my feeling that any of the Democrats that could beat Tom Tiffany, and Tom Tiffany could beat any of the Democrats. I think the state's going to be a very close election, but there's none of them that you would say can't. And it's interesting, Miles, you mentioned that it's about that the elephant in the room is race and gender. And it wasn't long ago, it was, Janet Protasewicz people were like, well, you can't vote for Everett Mitchell because Wisconsin's not ready to elect a black person statewide. And they were explicit about that. And they're less explicit now about it. Now it's about Mandela lost before. Hong's too socialist. Crowley is...
Well, think about what you were helping to run Henry, our CEO, when he was running for lieutenant governor.
Oh, yeah.
And all the things that we heard. And he was running. I mean, he was up and down that state with you. You all were running.
Yep.
And it was still all the language around and what people were saying about, like, him being black and we're not sure we can get a state level. Like, all the things.
Yeah. That was the primary for lieutenant governor back in, 2011. And the same people who are putting up David Crowley now were putting up Tom Nelson for lieutenant governor. He was the county executive up in... Winnebago County, is that right?
I don't know. I'm not in charge.
Anyway, but their excuse was that he was not from Madison because they had Spencer Coggs running in Milwaukee. He's from Milwaukee. Henry was running from Madison, and they needed somebody from outside because Tom Barrett was going to be the nominee for governor and whatever, and he's from Milwaukee. So the excuse was we needed somebody from out state.
Yeah.
But what they really wanted was 2 white men running.
Yeah, they wanted a white guy.
Yeah. So that's something new, but it's interesting that they're being less explicit about it now.
Regardless of who wins, Madison 365 wins because all of those Democratic candidates are friends of the paper.
Well, these are all, I mean, literally, literally, we've been covering them all since their beginning. We've been around long enough now.
They've all been on a panel.
They've all been on panels. They've all been on lists. Then they've all
hung out.
We covered all of them when they first went into wherever they are.
Yeah.
Mandela, when he first ran for assembly and then ran for Senate and then ran for lieutenant governor, we covered all those. We covered Francesca, and Francesca's been a source on non-political stories too as a business owner.
Yeah.
And David Crowley, we've been covering all of his races in the assembly and county executive. So yeah, we're well placed to cover these administrations. Whoever the next administration is,
don't forget us.
There. Yeah. All right, that's enough politics. Let's talk more politics. Omar, tell us about Stoughton and their flock camera situation.
I'm going to say it. You're getting ready for it. My favorite city named after a road in Madison. Stoughton, Wisconsin.
I was waiting on it.
He was.
It was even better this time.
It's always good. So, last week we talked about how everyone was mad and they want the flock cameras to go away, and they will. Yeah. They voted to end their contract with Flock, which would cost the city $12,500, which the residents have said, well, maybe you shouldn't have done this in the first place now, huh? if you're worried about the money. But there's been some interesting parts about that resolution where it is now set up in a position where Stoughton cannot get flock cameras in the future without very clear input from the community. Like no elected official, government employee, agency is even allowed to meet with any of these type of companies without city council approval. City council has to give a very significant heads up to the community that someone may be getting this approval. So it's a whole cycle of things. So the people definitely got what they wanted there, and those flock cameras are going to be out of there within 2 weeks. That's the deadline to comply, but trash bags are already on top of them. So. I envision like somebody in a call center somewhere watching the flock cameras, and are they sad that they're looking at inside of trash bags? I mean, they had 2 that were kind of out on the highway facing all the nature, so it had to be some of the nicest flock cameras.
Yeah. I used to watch deer scamper past, and now I only see the inside of. I don't think they have actual people actually watching the cameras 24/7 because they are. I don't know if they have that much staffing, but
I like to think it's like Waymo, where they pretended like the cars were driving themselves the whole time,
right?
Except for they were immigrants in some country. So I like to think that's how the flock cameras are operated, and we did just ruin some poor worker's day.
All right. I guess we'll just go around the table because the podcast listeners don't know who's next to who. But Beth, talk to us about the CARES team.
Sure, yeah. I got to talk to Assistant Chief Chris Hames about the CARES team.
We're not 100% pronunciation, but that's
what I'm going to go with.
We apologize to...
He is a very nice man, and he took a lot of time for me out of his busy schedule. But yeah, I got to talk to him about CARES, which is, for those of you who don't know what CARES is, it's a community paramedic and a journey mental health crisis worker who are called in when there's a 911 call that can be dispatched, and they're like, this wouldn't be great for their emergency in this room, and this also is not great for jail. Like, this person does not need to go to jail, and they do not need to go to the emergency room. And then they go in and they're able to give this person like one-on-one help. They can create a care plan. And the really fortunate thing about like not being an ambulance is that they can see the person's record more distinctly. Whereas like on an ambulance, it's like, okay, you have the age, you have the health, and then what's happening, but you don't have like all these like this backlog of information. Yeah. But over the past 5 years, it was a little bit of a 5-year update. They had 14,000 calls and they've helped 8,500 individuals. And of those 8,500 individuals, only 2% have been incarcerated and 60% had their crisis mitigated, and 25%, I believe, were transported to a different, like whether it was a detox home, whether they did need to go to the hospital, but then they're not like on an ambulance with people in like gear and like even like obviously police can be very intimidating for somebody who's experiencing a mental health crisis, but so can like a fire chief or a fireman or a paramedic. Like they all have like this badge, they all have like this level of authority, right? But they are very intentional with CARES that they wear street clothes and they're like, they get down with the person and they're like, what can we do to help you? And where can we go from here? But yeah, I think it was a really fun thing to get to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, and now the next step is to expand, right?
Yes.
There is, it has been rolled out kind of as a pilot, and then it's expanded a little bit, and then to expand where it just expands to Sun Prairie.
Yeah. So they had a pilot program in Sun Prairie that was expanded. Like it was supposed to, I think, stop in February of this year, but it was extended to the rest of the year. They're not sure if they're going to be able to have the funding, but the calls are there. Chris was very adamant that there's like an increase in demand, whether that's an increase in the types of calls or if it's just people recognizing and trusting CARES more and being willing, like the dispatchers being willing to like send it to CARES rather than like the police.
Right. And CARES stands for Community Alternative Response Emergency Services.
Yeah.
And the idea is that when you're hammer, everything looks like a nail. Right.
Yeah.
When somebody's experiencing mental health crisis and either that person needs help or they're potentially dangerous to other people, people call 911, and 911 sends a police, and the police arrest people because that's what they do. That's what they're supposed to do. They're not social workers, right?
Yeah.
And then nor are they they're first responders, but usually if a person's causing a disruption, they're going to arrest them, take them to jail, or punch them in the head. As I had to report on back in 2020, a kid had left school having a mental health crisis, and I have got video of him in his own home getting punched in the head by a cop because the cop didn't know how to de-escalate, right? And just the presence of the cop escalates.
Yes,
So this has, and with the most remarkable thing in your story, which was very good, is that like 98% didn't go to jail.
Yeah.
Which that would have been a much lower percentage before.
Yeah.
And 60% of them didn't go anywhere. They just got taken care of.
Exactly.
Like the whole thing just got dealt with right there, and everybody can go about their day. Which is remarkable.
Yeah, and it's like it's the way the chief talked about it, or the assistant chief. He was like, you don't want to put a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
You know, like you need to like find like people experiencing crisis shouldn't have just two options. They should have all of these options to help them. And so it's just like really great. They're like plugged into so many different resources that they can help people experiencing like overdose or people experiencing like non-drug related mental health crises too.
All right. And that story's up at madison365.org. Thank you so much for that, Beth. Miles, this what you're going to talk about is one of my favorite things about journalism. Is you saw something that looked weird and you were like, what's that? And and that started a kind of a journey for you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's similar to, I guess, if you've seen like an old school bike and you kind of see, I don't know, I guess just somebody's pedaling. But imagine that just on a lake and they're on a boat and
it's not a little paddle boat. This is like a big thing.
Yeah, this is a pretty sizable boat, and the wheels are cycling through algae and cleaning it up and collecting it so it can get disposed of somewhere else.
Right, and you like texted a picture of that to me and Dave.
Yeah.
And like, what is this thing? Can I write about this thing?
Yeah, and I was pretty fascinated by it, but I guess just for everybody here and for listeners, like who spent time around a lake this summer? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have, but I guess something that you'll notice if you've been to any different lakes. You can take the Mendota, you can take Monona. They're all going to look pretty different, and part of the reason why that is because of the surrounding area. So a lake can look, smell, and be just very different based off of its surrounding environment, and that's primarily because of runoff. And I'm talking about runoff that could be agricultural runoff, that could be chemicals from cars, that could be waste and debris from humans. But what that first starts to impact, one, pollution, but secondly, it impacts algae buildup in the water, primarily from agricultural runoff, and phosphorus ends up getting into these lakes because of rain, or ends up just, if it's right in there, there's grass that has...
It's literally fertilizer that's supposed to help plants grow.
Exactly.
So it falls into the lake and does just that.
Yep, it does
the
just
nice
that.
plants, the gross plants.
Right, so most of the time algae can be relatively harmless, but because of warmer weather and because of, especially in lakes, because it's easier for them to heat up, they're not as deep as an ocean or as other bodies of water. They can heat up a lot more, and then you add that phosphorus in, and then we have a situation, if you've walked around Monona lately, there's algae everywhere. That means that water is, one, people are just like grossed out by it. Why do you want to swim with a bunch of, murky green substances? But also, it's basically just a pain in the butt. And although it's somewhat harmless, one of the other side effects that can happen is the buildup of cyanobacteria, aka blue-green algae, which looks a little bit different. It's this kind of green, blue, murky color, but that actually is toxic. And when people talk about harmful algal blooms, that's what can happen. It can make the water toxic it can kill fish, it can kill other species that interact with it. It can be really harmful for people to get into the water, especially pets, young kids, and people that are around the water all day. So if we're not careful, we could look at lakes like Lake Mendota, Lake Monona being unusable for human recreation in the coming years because of that algae buildup.
Right, and that boat has these big wheels, these big paddle things on it that's cleaning up the algae, isn't it, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So how did you go about? Who did you talk to, and what are the effects?
Yeah. So I know I talked to Professor Grace Wilkins. She's an assistant professor of limnology at the University of Wisconsin. And yeah, so I mean, when it comes to cleaning up the algae, you'll physically just see it. If you walk around, let's say again, you walk around Monona, you'll see piles of that algae. It's all dried up and it's on land. Because that boat cycled it out of the water. Now, I'm not totally sure. I'm still looking into, I think this boat comes from the city, or that's what we talked about. That's what we think. So I can't fully confirm that, but I think that's the case, and I'm not totally sure if that happens for every lake in Wisconsin or how that might, how the area might impact that. But that right now it seems like a short-term solution for helping with this algae buildup.
Just to mitigate what's there now.
Correct.
Well. And we got to figure out how to keep it.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Professor Wilkins was talking about, because there's not necessarily a small like community solution to this. It's a huge issue just with climate change in general, right?
All right.
You can definitely try, if you live near a lake, to try to not put so much fertilizer on your lawn, or to try to watch your just in general, like if you're driving near a lake, and there's nothing like leaking out of your car. These are small situations, though, and in general, it's gonna continue to happen as long as climate change is a problem. So,
all right, thank you, Miles, for that. Abby, you got to talk with some folks from Lighthouse Christian School about an art project that's happening.
Yes. Yes, I did. So for those who are unfamiliar with Lighthouse, it is a bilingual Christian school. And this Thursday, or next Thursday, August 6th, they're going to be unveiling a mural that has been handcrafted not only by an art teacher at Lighthouse, but by 16 of their middle school students.
Oh, cool.
So it's a very special project, and it's really representative of the Hispanic heritage of the school. So the president of the school, as well as this art teacher, Maria Wood, are from Honduras. And so 60% of their student population is Latinx, and so that's a huge part of the culture at Lighthouse. And so one of the big parts of the mural is Arte with Corazon, which stands for Art with Heart. And so it's really a tribute to these students who are super passionate about art and are really interested in that field of study, and are, hoping to continue pursuing that afterwards, after school. And yeah, it's just a really exciting project that they're unveiling.
And this is in like the new wing of their school, right? Because they've recently expanded or built onto the school, which is on the west side.
Yes, last year they expanded with 4 classrooms, and then they also have this multi-purpose room, which is where the actual mural itself is going to be, and is where the event will be as well.
And that unveiling is next Thursday, and you'll be there, right?
We'll be there, yes.
So watch for photos.
And there's also going to be a silent auction for some professionally done artwork as well.
Oh, cool.
It's
Okay.
going to go towards the Lighthouse Scholarship Fund. Some of the students will also be auctioning their work as well. So.
Oh, okay. So you can buy some Lighthouse Christian Middle School artwork. Fantastic. Thank you, Abby, for that. And Camille, you popped over to Centro Hispano.
Yes.
Which is right around the corner from us, which is fantastic. And every Thursday they do a thing.
Yeah, every Thursday.
Right.
Every Thursday they have the El Mercadito, and they have 13 business entrepreneurs representing Latin American countries. They have jewelry, fruit. They have 4 different types of mangoes, Joe told me. But, produce, food.
I didn't know there were 4 different kinds of mango.
Anything.
I gotta go now.
Rob, what kind of husband are you in a Latinx household to not know there are 4 different kinds of mangoes? You've eaten like 3 at my mom's house.
Probably, yeah. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
I'm telling.
I'm in trouble now.
Controversial mango opinion. The only 2 good ones are from the Caribbean and India. Just throwing that out there.
Everybody go to the Mercadito and just sample the different mangoes.
All the mangoes. Yeah, I had a mango nata when I was there, and it was really good. I love mango natas. But besides all of the business stuff, they also have entertainment there. They hire bands that are...
You got some great photos.
Yes.
of those,
I had a
so
fun
watch for
time
those,
taking
yeah.
Pictures of the bands. But they do big bands that are like national, but they also do like small, like local kids.
Mm-hmm.
They get them. And it's just a real good time. And that's kind of like why it was made, because originally it was made to kind of address the food desert on the south side, and also like back in the day when Central was really not as, I guess, not integrated, but not as much as a hangout space. It was more just a place where people would go when they had a problem and then they would leave. But part of the market was having a space for people to come together and just really, I don't know, really enjoy themselves and be together.
Yeah, and kind of existing community
Yeah.
for a bit, which is part of the, like as you mentioned, the former location, which is just a block away, was much smaller.
Yeah.
It was much more a social service agency, whereas now it's much more of a community space.
Yeah, now they have an outdoor pavilion.
Yeah.
They have a whole bunch of seating spaces inside. They have a kitchen indoors, so it's really,
And it's a really cool spot. Just like go there on a Thursday and check it out, because it's a very cool space and very cool community there. So thank you for that. And the photos are great. Seriously, we'll have those. We'll put a link to that on the show notes. I think that's all we have. Do we mention the Seattle Police Chief real quick?
Yes, we do.
Why would we mention the Seattle Police Chief?
Well, because he used to be Madison's police chief, everybody.
Yeah. He was hired by Seattle a couple of years ago. A year ago? 2 years ago?
Gosh, maybe in between, maybe like 18 months ago.
I didn't actually exit the interview with him, and he was very salty.
He was salty again. The other reporters
been
in
salty,
Seattle,
because
the
they
reporters,
apparently they hired him
Yeah.
without doing a competitive process.
they
first
said
of
they
all.
did. Yeah, they said they did some sort of process, but not
Yeah.
as competitive. Yes.
And then he never moved his family from Chicago.
No.
So he's
He was been.
Flying
He
back
said he
and-
was at a conference though. So there was a shooting in Seattle. If people were not aware, at a local event, and he was not in town when the shooting occurred. He says he was at a conference. And some really good journalism found out that he had also, yes, there were conferences, but also he has been going back and forth on the weekends to go home to see his family in Chicago. So the police chief of Seattle actually does not spend a lot of time in Seattle, or at least enough time, as folks were saying. He got into a heated exchange with a journalist a couple of days ago. On Wednesday, he then held a press conference saying that, it was to sort of apologize or make amends for that exchange. and say, and I listening to it as he was saying, like, I respect reporter. He said something like this, like, I respect reporters. Their job is hard. And I was like thinking about Rob, because I knew Rob had an interview where he was salty toward Rob. I'm like, I wonder what Rob would feel about this right now. And then it turns out he was actually fired from his role. Yesterday or Wednesday, later Wednesday evening.
Yeah, it was like in the evening they were starting to report it.
They fired Barnes?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's been fired now by the mayor of Seattle.
Was he also living in Chicago when he was chief here?
More or less.
Yes, but it's a shorter trip, right? Like, but yes, I imagine he was too.
Yeah, and he also accidentally announced that the person who was his sort of right-hand person here in Madison he also hired that person in Seattle recently, and kind of announced that accidentally in April. But we should say that this is all broken by a nonprofit news outlet, Publicola. So support your local nonprofit news, guys.
Look at Rob and his ads. Way to go, Rob.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and take a break.
And we'll talk with Keisha Harrison, and we'll be back with the question. And we're back, and I'm here in the best smelling place in Madison, the Madison Public Market, with CEO Keisha Harrison. Keisha, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
You put a little, you're great.
Yes.
It's a good day.
It is a beautiful day.
Congratulations.
Fantastic day.
Congratulations on getting it open. Finally, we were supposed to open last week.
Yes.
But we pushed it back to this week, and now it's sort of soft launch. Is that a good way to say it?
It is. I mean, we have just focused on the opening part of it. So you put whatever word you want to put in front of it.
We're open, right? And there's going to be like a more grand opening type of thing like next month.
In the fall.
Oh, in the fall. Okay.
Yeah, next month we will announce when that will
Got it. Announce it next month, and it'll be sometime in the fall. Yeah. That would be great. And but for now, we got people here buying stuff. We got people cooking. We got smells. We got people selling things. How does it feel? Like an hour and 20 minutes into it.
I mean, it really is a dream come true, right?
Yeah.
So I know that there have been many doubts and starts and stops and all of that about this project. And
from the Madison.
Yeah. But I mean, like, there was just stuff that, because it's happening so fast, we can't get that information out quickly enough to people, because by the time we get it out, now something else has changed.
Right.
So that has been, part of the communication gap that we have suffered. So in these last few months, especially, we've tried to be more open, more transparent about what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we are finally able to deliver on the promise.
Yeah. Do you have any sense of how many people are here right now? Feels like a couple hundred.
I would say that at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, people have been coming and going since we opened the door.
Uh-huh.
So.
Right, yeah, and there's some long lines for food.
Yes.
Cool to see.
Our two merchants who have food trucks, we've got Sin City Smash and Caracas Empanadas y Más. They have cult following, so
so people came here just for them.
That's right. Which is cool. But then we've got the Chapati Indian street food right next to them. And so people are like, oh, well, let me try that. So that's been a good way to experience something new. And that's exactly the type of experience that we hope.
Sort of serendipitous.
Yeah.
When you're waiting in line for food, you turn around, there's yarn.
Yes.
And then you walk down a little bit, there's magnetic jewelry.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of stuff. And there's going to be more stuff, too. I mean,
absolutely.
I saw on the map, I see 18 business names, some of which aren't even open yet.
Right.
Which are coming. Do you know, like, is there a timeline for when those will be?
We're looking at the fall, but I would be a little remiss to give an exact date.
We've learned about to do that anymore.
We've learned our lessons on that one. Yeah.
But then there are still a few booths that aren't even spoken for. So are those like available, or are those to take in and we just haven't announced them yet? Or
there are 2 suites right now that we don't have anyone attached to.
Okay.
The rest of them, we have people attached, and we're working through the leasing process. So hopefully they will all come to fruition.
So if you come tonight, or if you come this week, tell us what are the hours this week? It's like 5 to.
So we do have limited hours, just because we are still under construction.
Ramp it up.
And we want to make sure that we can accommodate the construction that still needs to happen.
Sure. Right.
So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it's 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay.
And Saturday, it's 8 a.m. until 11 p.m. And Sunday, I think it's 9 a.m. to 9 or 8 p.m., something like that. So we do have an app that you can.
I was going to ask about that. Tell me about the Passport app.
Yes. So it is a very terrific tool that we have developed that will help people to navigate around the market, around the businesses, to understand who's open and when. And once we get into our groove and start, they start having specials, or they want to do anything that's a little out of the ordinary, like with the Love You Madison, she hosts candle making classes. So she'd be able to put that on the app.
On the app, so you know when it is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also going to be like 1 week pop-up kiosk kind of things at some point.
Yeah, so we're still developing our kiosk program. So we have several different ways that businesses can be a part of the market.
Okay.
The first way is through becoming a merchant, which is what we call the businesses that are in the main hall.
Right.
Anyone who is coming here and selling intermittently, we call them vendors. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have vendors for our pop-up markets or farmers market, and then with the kiosk program, we'll also have vendors.
Got it.
So right now, what we're thinking for the kiosk program is that every week we will have 10 businesses who can set up from Wednesday through Sunday, and they can market what they have. People can use that as a way to do a proof of concept type of thing, to see if anybody would be interested, or to, gain a little bit more exposure. And we'll have some marketing and other things that go along with that, because we want people to come here and experience something new all the time.
And that's what I was going to say. Like if you come this weekend and just check it out, and then come back in a month, it's going to be different. It's going to be more.
Oh, I hope it's different.
And then it's coming 3 months. And every time you come, it's going to be something new, something different.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So we want to make sure that we have that variety and diversity.
Yeah. Right.
This is an excellent place that we can have a lot of different businesses be supported in that way.
Yeah. Tell me about the street names.
The street names are...
I didn't know this was happening. I just saw it on the map and I was like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah. So there are different touches all around the market. I wouldn't necessarily call them all Easter eggs, but, there are little things
things to discover.
Yeah, there are little things to discover. And so the street names are in homage to the Black community here in Madison. And they reference significant people and significant places that have played a part in developing Black Madison.
So we won't say what they are so that people can come and discover them.
That's correct.
That's correct. All right.
Or you can go on the app.
You can go. Yeah. There you go. Is it just like Madison Public Market Passport?
It is mpmpassport.com.
Okay, and that's where you can download the app. Or there's a QR code here. If you come here, you just point your phone to the thing and you get the app, and
absolutely,
and then you'll learn all the street names. Which if you're a long-time reader of Madison 365, you will definitely recognize some of the names. So it's cool. What else does a sort of a consumer, if I live on the West Side, if I live, why would I come here on a Saturday afternoon?
Because it's something new to do.
Yeah.
And once it's not new anymore, then it's the place to go because it has what you need.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great way to think about it. What do you think? You sort of referenced it. It's kind of been coming. There's been some starts and stops, and there's a lot of excitement.
Yes.
A year from now, 5 years from now, how do you know you've been successful?
Even a year from now, we've been successful when people still come back, when they are still excited to come here to see what new things that we have, or to get into the routine of coming to our every Wednesday at the market, making that a part of their lives. That's how we know we're successful, when we get to see the same faces over and over again because they're regulars.
Yeah.
And then again, there is also that delight when someone is new. I mean, how many places have you ever been to where people come out of the bathrooms giggling and smiling?
The bathrooms are another Easter egg, we should say.
Yes. So what I have told people, and we'll be working this into our app as well, but it counts now. So if you saw the bathrooms before we opened, it didn't count. So now you have to come back now. And we've got 14 single individual bathrooms, and they all have a different art aesthetic to them. We worked with the Madison Metropolitan Sewerage District. So it is educational, but it's fun. And every time you come, you have to visit a different bathroom, which means you have to visit us at least 14 times.
I love it.
Yeah. And so, like I said, we'll be working that into the app so that,
that's great.
You can right now, as we're developing it, you can check off which businesses you've shopped at. And so we'll make it so you can check off which restrooms you've been into to make sure that you get them all.
Make sure you get your full sewerage education.
Right.
I mean, they're here. Like, they've got signage.
Yes.
They've got a booth. They've got a table downstairs with the Madison Metro Sewers District, which it's a thing, right? It's a important thing.
Correct.
Water management is like a big deal in the
It
city.
is.
And this is a former city facility, right? You're firmly connected to the city.
Yes, and the pumping station is still across the driveway.
Right there.
So it was just a natural fit.
That's so great.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else people should know as we're getting open this weekend?
We've got patio seating out front, so you can come and, just hang out there. Right now, when we don't have any activities or programming happening in our event space, there are tables and chairs set up there too. And then the main seating area is our mezzanine.
This is mezzanine, right? There's a lot of room to sit.
Yes.
And just kind of be and chill.
Yes.
The other thing, are there any special plans for winter?
We're working on stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things that's going to be year round.
Right.
And so, maybe some of those weekly kiosks are folks that go to like the art fairs in the summer and don't have anywhere to be in the winter. So come here for a week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So not only that, but the weekly Wednesday market as well. I mean, part of the...
Is it like the pop-ups that you've had? Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So those were pop-ups. We were testing it out, just trying to figure out how we would put them on once it's a regular thing. So it'll start up again August 12th. And then that'll be a regular thing. And we're aiming to do that every Wednesday from 4 to 7.
And those are folks that are just here for the day.
Correct.
On Wednesday that aren't vendors. Or our merchants, rather. I got those fish.
We do have some merchants who can participate in it because of their products, but there won't be any hot food in the weekly market because we have the whole hot food section.
Because you got the whole thing over here.
Right.
Yep. And come hungry because it smells amazing.
Yes.
Just walking in the door. I was not anticipating the aroma that hit me in the face when I walked in. I was like, oh, okay, I can stay here for a while.
Well, I could have told you.
I know you could have. All right, Keisha Harrison, thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
And congrats to you, too, because this is your market as well. So we hope to see you around.
You definitely will. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And we're back, and we're going to head right into the question. I have not shared this beforehand, so this will be real live.
We're doing it cold.
Responses, okay? And this is an easy one. Relax. What's a life? I mean, I do some hard ones. This was on it. What's a life skill you're supposed to have by now that you have successfully faked for years? I know everybody got one.
Everybody's raising their hands.
Everybody got one. Mine's this parallel parking. I kind of can do it, but why do it when I can do it like Rob?
You're lucky that I actually am really good at that.
You are really good at it. Absolutely. But parallel parking.
You've avoided learning that.
I avoid it. I know I learned to do it. I do it better in a manual transmission car than, I don't know why with an automatic, I can't do it at all. But give me a stick car, I got it.
Somebody else go.
I think mine is just normal parking.
Parking of any kind.
That's all I have to say about that.
You always know nothing more.
Mine's a bit niche. Keeping track of a wallet and or a phone. I didn't have a wallet of any kind until like a year ago. And then, so then it broke and all my cards fell out of it. So now I have like this wallet that's too big for my backpack and too big for my purse. So I'll just take all my cards and my money out and like shove it in a part of my backpack. And I'm like, why can't I find my ID or my bus pass? Yeah, so and I perpetually am losing almost everything I own. So it's
Get a phone wallet or like a cigarette case.
I have Apple Tag things on my wallet and my keys, and I use at least one of them every day.
I don't lose my wallet because I have a very nice wallet, and I believe in spending money on those. My wallet's like $500.
So it's your wallet that you don't want to lose, not the contents.
It's a Ferragamo wallet.
Oh my God.
All right, Miles, what's your life skill that you never picked up?
Well, I'm reluctant to share it now. I instantly thought of it when you asked this question, but now it's actually probably the worst group of people to share it with.
It's between me and Omar because we got some.
I can't type properly. I type with like my.
Actually, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I like.
Whoa.
Type like this, and I don't type with. I type with these three fingers right here. So my middle, my pointer, and my thumbs. Like pretty much, yeah.
Say, like, it's a dinosaur. Look, dinosaur.
Can you tell on the product though?
But do you?
How long does it take you to type something?
You have to look
Like
at the
normal
keyboard.
speeds. Like yeah.
You have to look at.
I have muscle memory, but like I think I make more typos than the average person that's typing normally.
I don't type with my left middle finger after I got part of it lopped off in a little freak accident.
What was the story there besides the that's the middle? Yeah.
He's told the story on the podcast.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
tell you.
You have to go dig through it. Younger brother, 6'4", finger cotton door, messing with them. Yeah, I am left-handed.
So you type with 9 fingers.
I type like it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When the tip of your finger is fresh, it is very weird. It's a weird feeling to touch things. So I understand.
Thank you.
Judge you.
Solidarity.
Wait, but I don't know about like the other interns, but we had like typing classes. Like it was like a whole chunk of my like middle school and elementary school education.
I mean I didn't. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was just like you do
I
it.
did,
You expect.
but also like, how does that not hurt your hand? Like what?
I mean I like it's like this.
I'm trying to figure it out.
I honestly can't tell you. Like I don't know. I get the
You
job
have to
done.
study this, but this is weird.
Well, I was in high school when it was transitioning from typing to keyboarding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what we
And
had.
I never took the classes. And in fact, I heard through the grapevine that I bothered the keyboarding teacher because I never learned home row. I never learned any of that, but I could type really fast without looking at the keyboard. And it's okay. I use all 5 fingers.
Look at him showing up on you, Miles.
Hey, yeah.
He's like,
I don't have to look at the keyboard.
got.
I just type, and that bothered the business teacher because they're like, I can't believe that guy
That
Yeah.
little
do that without taking this stupid class, without doing it properly.
Oh, maybe your like back wasn't straight.
Or something. Maybe
He
my
was
posture
worried
wasn't
about your
good.
posture.
Yeah, I don't know.
But also, way to like. Miles was
Miles.
worried about me and
No, I was
Omar.
saying Miles.
Oh, I was worried about everybody. Don't worry. Yeah.
No, you're
Rob
fine.
was like, "Well, I do it straight, right, in the right way with the homeroom. I don't. Home.
What?
Whatever.
It's actually reaffirms me to continue to do what I'm doing. I didn't actually get very many no-nos from the crowd here. So
I'm just worried about your like fingers. Is it not like cramp up? Like, is this like are these abnormally like big because you only exercise these 3 fingers? Yeah, kind of.
I look okay, right?
Your hands,
Yeah. Fingers.
no, they look weird. Why would you ask me that?
I'll take my wins.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Omar?
I have only recently figured out how mail works. So,
We're laughing, but like half the other part of the room isn't. So I wonder.
Yeah, let me know when you figure it out. Like you can share it with me. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I was always confused when I heard on like TV ads, P.O. box something. I was like, oh, am I supposed to put mail in like certain mailboxes? And also, it turns out you can leave your mail for the mailman to pick up at your mailbox. So why do we even have these central drop-off points? That doesn't make any sense. That's
the look on Beth's face right now.
What, Omar?
You can?
you know like where the stamp goes?
yes.
You don't sound confident.
Well, it doesn't sound like you do. I feel like this is like basic. You're like much older than us.
Much? Wow.
Much older. Not just older.
You don't have to know how to do everything.
I thought you were surprised that the mailman will pick up the mail from you. You were surprised that Omar didn't know that.
No, I like grew up like I was weird. I was like, I'm gonna send a letter today. Like, I was like
That
12.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like
It was exciting.
It was so exciting. You're like, okay, you put the stamp here. This
And
is
then
how
you flip the thing up.
Yes, you put the thing up. And then you know there's
Put the
mail
thing
in
up.
there.
You put
that you
there's a
can
little
take
flag
it
on your
out.
mailbox.
Yeah, I'm from Cali. We didn't have that little mail thing, the flag thing at all. Our box was by your house because people would steal your mail if you had something that far away. Like, no, we don't do that. And also, I also did not know that they like a mailman will pick up your mail if you put it on the box. Like, I didn't know that either until I was like, Rob, what are you doing? I asked you to mail that. He's like, yeah, they're gonna put the mail in and then they're gonna take this mail out. And I was like, oh, I'm not from this place.
See, it's not that crazy to not know how the mail works.
I didn't know how to mail worked though. Like I still knew like you took it to a mailbox, like a whatever, like the post office and all that stuff. Like I knew that, and where the stamp goes, and the return address, and the actual address to to the sender.
I was hoping for support like Miles.
I'll back you up because I mean, when realistically are you like
Exactly.
using, I mean, right?
I have only
email's a
sent
thing, right? I mean,
2 pieces of mail in my entire life, and one was recently.
You didn't have a pen pal? That's what they're saying? Right?
We had pen pals, but it was an elementary school, and the school sent it for us. So I never learned how to do it, but I did know how to write a check. So
That's
always known
something.
how to do that.
yeah, there you go. I feel like you get all the necessities.
I know how to write in cursive.
Well,
What about? Yeah.
Generational.
that's controversial now. Camille, what do you got?
Generational change?
Yeah, it's
What's your
because
thing,
I'm
Camille?
much
What
older.
social skills?
Social skills.
Or skills,
I
life
feel
skills.
like, okay, if I got pulled over and they were like license and registration, I don't really know what registration means.
Same.
Oh
my God.
People
All
will be like, there's
All right,
paper in
friends.
your glove box.
All right, friends. Next week
I
we're doing
guess
a
I'll
class.
just take out whatever paper that
We're
there's.
doing a
Is,
class.
like, is this something?
Yeah, I don't know what
I'm just gonna
registration
tell you.
means.
Most of us in this room are.
Well, I can't do that.
No. Most of us in this room are black and brown. We're gonna learn how to do this because we all gonna get pulled over for no reason or for a valid reason. You got it. Like
The good news is they don't really ask for registration anymore because they can
run
look it up. They can look it up
They
very
do ask for
easily,
insurance.
more easily than they do. But now it's proof of insurance.
Yeah. And proof of insurance sometimes cannot be on your phone. They want a piece of paper. In some states, it's not valid to just have it on your phone. So
I'm sure there's an envelope in my glove box. I'll just pull out all
just
the
like,
paper.
here-
We
here.
can all go through it together.
we'll do it together. We'll talk
So
about
do you
it.
know how to register your car? She just did the cringy face emoji, guys. Well, there's the DMV right here in the building, so we
Yeah.
can.
It's
We
my
can
parents'
Well,
car.
that's
so it's
there.
Alright.
Oh, never mind.
you'll figure it out. Yeah, you'll figure it out eventually.
Don't worry. You only get tickets for that like the end of the month when they have to fill a quota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually they'll let you go.
Don't even bring up quotas, like of how many people you pull over and then arrest, or like no, because there's like they do that, and it's like
They do that.
yeah, it's,
Yeah, they got to be numbers.
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
but-
My thing is,
I forgot you. Sorry.
I think it's a bit broad, but it's, like small talk, social interactions.
That isn't true. You know how to do small talk.
Well, you do the small talk for me because, like, this is why when we go to social things, like, you do the talking, and I'm like, hey, yeah,
No, that's not
because,
how it is.
yeah, because you're very social and very good at
I'm
that.
not a very social person. I don't need more friends. I don't
No, it's not about friends. It's about like just the getting behind the social interactions with people you don't know. In fact, I had to in college. I had to be the editorial page editor of the newspaper rather than do any news because I was too like shy to talk to people. So I'm like, I'm just going to write my opinions and and not actually have to interact with people. But even still, now at a social function or like just chit chat with people, I get like there's awkward silences and I'm like really uncomfortable. But also I've learned to become comfortable like not doing that, and I'll be over here in the corner by myself. That's fine. I'm fine.
So if anyone sees Rob out in the wild, go say hi to him and make him talk to you. It's good practice for him.
That's good practice for him.
You're also fine.
Yeah, and it's still like going at like covering events and like walking up to people and interviewing them is very challenging.
It's not. It just at least you don't make it look challenging. I think people do.
I fake it.
Yeah, you fake it really well. Fake it till you make it. That's a skill everyone should learn to do.
Right.
Because that's most of your life.
But I could interview
Yeah, we just were talking about like Chief Barnes and how, he was salty with you, and so you were like, but you held your own in that situation.
I'm 100% fearless talking to the most famous person.
Yeah, or fearless in encounters with somebody who has tension towards you, right? Or like, look at the protests.
I enjoy it, especially if you're a cop.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So many times we tell you to be safe, and Rob's like, I'm gonna go out there. So, anyways.
What's yours?
I already said it. Parallel parking.
Parallel parking. You went first.
I don't know how to do with automatic cars.
That's right.
I'm really bad at it. That's why I have Rob. Rob will do it for me. Or if I don't, I'm like, I'll just drive around. Or I'll eventually do it, but it's going to be like 5 tries. I can park straight though. You cannot park straight. I thought yours was going to be like parking straight because you don't.
I can park straight.
You don't. You choose not to.
Okay. But, yeah. All right, folks. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll be back next week. 365 Amplified is produced and edited by me, Rob Chappell, and is a production of 365 Media Foundation, a nonprofit, local, independent media organization in Madison, Wisconsin. Wherever you're listening to this right now, hit the subscribe or follow button to get new episodes every Friday. And between episodes, get your latest news at madison365.org and follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. Wherever you get your news, we'll be there.
Ready to love your floors again? At S&G Carpet & More, choose from waterproof LVP, carpet, hardwood, and laminate. Expertly installed start to finish. Visit sgcarpet.com.
S&G, more than carpet, where quality is affordable.